Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your English class. Today, again, we will be revising the torch, and the topic for today's class is key details and main idea. So, by the end of this class, you should be able to identify key details and also state the main idea of the paragraph. Every paragraph has one main idea. So today we will be learning how to find out the main idea of a paragraph by using key details. Very simple, so let's get started. Now you all have read the story, The Torch. I'm sure you all know the story by heart. If I tell you to tell me the story, will you be able to tell me the story like it is given in the textbook with all the details? No, you may not be able to tell me the story with all the details. So, the details which you can remember are the important ones, and these details are known as key details. So, in the torch, our key details are that we have Dr. Ganesha, a scientist who invents a torch that turns things into gold. He helps a poor woman by giving her a golden apple. He tells her about the torch and he gives her more objects. Maya slowly starts to become greedy and she wants more things from Dr. Ganesha. Finally, she steals the torch from his house. She breaks it. Then she realizes her mistake of being too greedy. And we find that Dr. Ganesha is sad and decides to never invent such a thing again. So I have told you the story in a very, very brief way, but it has all the important points that should be there. So these are known as key details. It is very difficult to remember every detail in a story. So usually we remember only the most important points, and these important points are known as key details in very simple words. Now, why are key details important and what makes them key details? So over here we already know that key details are important because key details tell us about the characters, their actions, the setting of the story, the beginning, middle, and the end. And if we do not find out the key details in a story, we would not know the main idea of the story. And that is why key details are very important. Key details help us to know the main idea of the story. So over here in this story, the overall main idea of the story, when we read the entire lesson, when we look at all the key details which I've given you in the second slide, we come to know that the lesson teaches us not to be greedy. So this is our main idea from the lesson, The Torch, which we get to learn. We should not be greedy. And how can you identify key details? So remember, okay, the most important details in a story are known as your key details. Ask yourself, okay, to remember the story. And when you ask yourself to remember the story, you will find out that you will remember only those important points. So those important points are known as our key details. We learn the main idea from our key details. Now, if you look at S3 in your workbook, you would find that you have a paragraph and you need to read the paragraph and you need to list the key details and write the main idea. So when you how would you find out the key details over here now? So the key details, as I already told you, are the most important details in the story or in the paragraph. So over here you can ask yourself, what did he find out he could do, or what did Mr. Ganesha find out he could do? So over here we find the answer that he could find out that he could turn anything into gold. He found a way to turn anything into gold. So that is your first key detail, okay? And your next key detail, okay, you can ask the question, what happened to the objects when the light of the torch shone on them? So we know that when the light of the torch shone on the objects, they turned into gold. Okay, so that is your next key detail. He found that objects turned into gold if the light from the torch shone on them for at least half a day. So now these two key details, okay, the textbook gives you A, B and C, but you have only two over here. So you can just write down the one which you have already underlined in the space given for list of key details. Okay, now for your main idea, looking at these two lines, what do you come to know? Okay, what is the main idea that we find out? So over here you ask yourself the question, okay, what did Dr. Ganesha discover? Okay, so we already know that Dr. Ganesha discovered a torch that could turn things into gold. And what did he do with his gift? So we know that he decided to help people as much as he could with this gift. Okay, so that is your main idea. When you read the paragraph and you underline your key details, you will automatically come to know the main idea. So now in question number 2, they're asking you to do the same thing. Okay, they're just telling you to change the word gold with dust. So over here everything remains the same. Okay, you can ask yourself the same questions, and instead of gold you can just write dust. So this is your S3. In case you have any doubts, you can always call me or you can message me. That's all for today. Stay safe, stay happy, and I'll meet you in your next class. Bye bye.